Narcissism is primarily about perception versus reality. Perception versus reality. The lie versus the truth. It just doesn't get any more, straightforward and simple than that. But I'm going to explain for a minute why this isn't really a problem for you as a person who's trying to deal with narcs. The only person you really have to figure out how to stop lying to is yourself. You shouldn't lie to anyone, but I guess the point is the only person you need to get clear about the truth with is yourself. You don't have to convince the narc of anything. You don't have to convince them what the truth is. Of course, you're never going to. They're always going to believe this false version of things. But the thing to remember is that they're only lying to themselves. And they're lying to themselves about specific things different to each narc. Some narcs get hung up on the concept that they're maybe they always struggled with money growing up, and so they get hung up on this concept of money, and they're trying to prove to you that they're rich, or that they don't need money, or that people that have money or don't deserve it, or they stole it in some way, or maybe their thing is they struggle with being happy. They're not really happy, but they lie to themselves and say I'm so happy. So their whole thing is trying to convince you that they're happy, trying to convince you. They just get hung up on one particular lie. And rather than trying to figure it out for themselves, they try to convince you of it. And it's if they can convince you of it, then maybe it's a little bit closer to being true. But of course, it's not. It's all a bluff. All this stuff depends on lying. It's all lying. It's all bluffing. It's all stretching the truth. And the reason that they do it is because they're struggling. They're unhappy. But you don't have to fix them. You don't have to convince the world that they're lying. You don't have to convince yourself. You do have to convince yourself. You don't have to do anything to alter anything or convince them of anything. All you need to do is figure out what the truth is within you, and just hang on to that. And it's possible that it'll be difficult to do this because there are a lot of forces that are for the lie. But it's worth it to stand on the truth and to stand in the truth. And I think you'll find that that's a more rewarding way to live ultimately.